going on, people? First one in. What's going on, Peter? So we're going to keep it short and sweet today. My dog just knocked my phone. We're going to keep it short and sweet today. We've got Ryan on again, very knowledgeable guy. We're going to be talking majority on angramainyu, the subspecies. So, yeah, so it'll be different than normal. What's going on, Adam? Oh. So we're just going to get people in and then we'll roll from there. Anyone been playing the new FIFA? Oh. What's going on, Chloe? Dan? Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to blow my nose. Come on, Pablo. Oh. So we're supposed to do a live with Kevin at Mutant Geckos, but he's had something pop up, so we've rescheduled that. So Ryan's jumped in for us for this live. Going to be talking angramainyu, leopard geckos, all that good stuff. This dog keeps... Pablo, you don't normally do this. Also, we've got a giveaway, not a giveaway, a discount code now for Live Food Hub. If you type MLive10, I'll put it in the description, you can get 10% off your live food. So purple gecko, no, it ain't it is purple, but it ain't a purple gecko. It's a stonewash. They hatch very purplish. If it stayed like that, that'd be amazing, but it doesn't. Unfortunately, it mocks out. I thought that might have got people's attention. I was going to put world's first, but I thought, oh no, better not, get told off. What's going on, Lee? I have to pop up and see you soon, man. I haven't seen you in ages. Thinking like end of this month. Siobhan? Just getting some people in. Cheers, I appreciate that. It's absolutely stunning. So we got Sir Pablo today. He's being an arse today. Don't know why. Oh. Ryan, are you in the live? Just so I know. No problem, Lucy. Oh, he is in. All right, we'll crack on with the live in a minute. We'll get Ryan on. There's like, yeah, there is Simpsons in the background. I didn't know you lot can hear it. How professional. We're going to be talking majority angramainyu. I think I've mentioned it before. There's like no information out there for them. I'm definitely interested in them. There's just no information at all. Like, can you keep them the same as a Leo? But we'll ask Ryan all these questions, and if any of you guys got questions, make sure you put them in the comments below, and we'll try our best to get to them. But we've had Ryan on before, and he's one of them guys that does his research. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people got these lines and they don't know the history. Like, for example, Stonewash. I don't know that much about the history, believe it or not. I've learnt most of it off Ryan's podcast on YouTube. But Ryan, he knows all the history. He does that. He's that annoying customer. You're like, nah. What's going on, Golden Exotics? This will go on YouTube, Spotify, and podcast. So if people have to leave and come back, that's absolutely fine. We actually get most of our views and that come later on YouTube and stuff. So please don't feel like you have to stay and watch. I know my voice gets boring. What's going on, Cairo? But we've got loads of good lives coming up. We're so flat out. We're going to be doing a live every day the week up to Christmas. It's the Gecko Talk podcast, Chloe. He's got some good names on there. He's got JMG, Golden Valley. He's got loads of good people on there. It's a good podcast, actually. Anyway, let's get Ryan on. Who remembers Ryan's cat? If you watched this stream or watched my lives with Ryan before, who remembers the cat situation? I want to see who remembers. When the cat hit the door. What's going on, Ethan? Yes, the blind cat. Oh, too funny, too funny. Right, we'll get Ryan on now. So, Ryan, if you're watching this, I'm going to request you to join. So we just requested Ryan to join. There he is.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Good. Sorry, my
Yeah, what happened?
yeah, I have a sore throat. It's just allergies, you know. It's fall now, so my nose is just super dry and
Not COVID.
yeah, it sounds all weird. Yeah, no COVID. Yeah.
Anyway, so a lot of people have been asking about the angramainyu. I know it's taken you a while to get hold of them, but there's like no info. I was saying to you earlier, there's like no information on them at all.
Yeah. There's nothing on them.
Why? Like, why?
Like,
is it because they're not really no one? Because I keep hearing angramainyu popping up all the time now, like more and more. So I think someone like you are going to do really well if you've got a little group, because I think they are going to be like not a big thing, but I think they're going to be more. People are going to be wanting them more, sort of thing. So why is
I mean, they are
why
a
is there
big
no
gecko.
information, Ryan?
Well, for one, like not a lot of people know about them, unfortunately. And then people think, you know, it's just a normal leopard gecko until you see them in person or just look at pictures online for hours. Unfortunately, that's what I did when I first got into them. You know, scrolling down Google, looking at all these pictures. So I might. Gus is here today too. He's right next to me.
Oh, bless him. Where is he?
He's trying to bite my foot. Yeah.
Oh,
Here
there he is.
Yeah. You can stop. Shoot. Yeah, he's in a mood today. Yeah, so the angramainyu, there's nothing on them. You can go on Gecko Boa onto his website, and there's not enough information on there. I've been trying to reach out to John, just asking like the all honesty on where these quote unquote provenances are from that they have described, and there's like no one saying that that's where they were discovered, besides the point of just people saying this is where they're from, or taking out. And as far as like testing the blood type, seeing if they're actually different in any way, to my knowledge, there's none of that out because I've spent years looking for this information. It's just not out there, which sucks.
Yeah.
So
I remember when I saw my first one, like you said, if you look at them, you think, oh, it's just a normal leopard gecko. But when I saw my first one, it was actually for a guy called Geckos. And I mean, you know, I work with Supergiant, and they even put Supergiant to shame. I mean, this one he bought out, it wasn't even fully grown. I was just like, what a monster! And they have a different, like, they seem more and that sounds silly to say, they seem more wild, but how they walk very like. Do you remember, I don't know if you ever worked with chameleons. When a chameleon climbs on a branch, they try and shape like a leaf to sort of
Yeah,
add
they're
camouflage. With the Montanus, they're sort of like, do you know what I mean? Very robotic.
yeah. The angramainyu, they're a lot more aware for sure on what's around their surroundings. So they're a lot more, I guess, territorial in some sense. So when you're like opening their tub out, they'll like quickly run in their hide and they'll almost block their hide off
Really?
for you to not even reach. Yeah. So they're not as domesticated at all, but once they're in your hand, they're
Mm.
like a potato. They don't move.
I see
But
shots you've taken. Even yours, they're massive. I did read
oh
something,
yeah,
and it said that
they're young.
if when they have babies, they're like 15-gram leopard geckos. Like when
Yeah,
they hatch.
they're yeah. I there's someone that I follow on Instagram. They were showing off a baby that they just hatched, and this thing's like this big. It's like a couple inches long. I'm like, I just can't wait for mine to hatch. Once I have that, just makes me more excited.
So how
Yeah,
hard was it for you to source the ones you got? Was it very difficult? Did you speak to the
very.
breeder and had it lined up for a long time?
So I've been actually trying to get angramainyu for the past 5 years. And it's been like a pain. So anytime I would reach out to John, I'd have the opportunity to buy it, and then suddenly they sell last second once I already have my money down, which
Mm.
sucks. Um, so there for some reason, some person out there has to buy everything that John has, of course. What really sucks when you're trying to get for angramainyu and like subspecies and all of that because they're really hard to come by. And then there's a few other breeders here, like Chad Ramsey. He doesn't release a whole lot. You have to like ask him, not like message him. And that's kind of intimidating sometimes.
Mm.
Uh, he's very knowledgeable, so sometimes you're like, please like me.
That's like me with
uh,
Molt.
yeah,
Sometimes I get
I
worried what the response is gonna be. Like he'll send me a
yeah, well,
screenshot of one of my geckos, and I'm like, oh no, here we go.
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about.
oh yeah, he's just messing with you. Yeah.
So is that what
Um,
Chad Ramsey's a bit like that? Is it Chad Ramsey? Did you say?
yeah, Chad Ramsey, he's very professional. So it's like when you're talking to him, inquiring for anything, it's just very high quality
Mm.
conversation. So it becomes a little intimidating. Like, is it okay that I ask this? So you have to like think twice when you're like messaging and you're like, should I delete that? So
Knowing you, I
yeah.
can imagine the questions.
Oh yeah.
You want the in
Look.
depth. Yeah, that's what that's the thing
Yeah.
is that's what I like about you is you do your research to the max. You know what I mean?
Oh
You
yeah.
don't just want to open the book and read a couple of pages. You're going to read the whole book and look for more. That's what I appreciate with you. What's happening, Molt? So
Yeah. What's up, Morphe?
yeah, so that's what like with the history, like with your podcast. I remember listening to the Stonewash podcast of yours, and that made it really helped me out because I was like, I didn't know any of this, you know what I mean, with the black blood and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah.
that's the stuff I like with you. You go into it deeply. But back
Oh
to
yeah. Look at Malte. He's already here saying that he's ready for some good questions. Yeah.
I have got some from Molte, so.
Yeah.
I think I know your answer. Actually, I'm going to ask you one now.
All right.
Which insect has the most calcium in them?
Definitely dubia roaches. I like them a lot more than anything.
Mm.
Um, they're it's more expensive for sure, but just better health wise, I think, because they're like that perfect ratio. Still give them like calcium and like vitamins and all that for your animals, but still they just have a higher concentrate. So like I just think it's healthier, and they have like more meat on them compared to like superworms and mealworms. Um, the thing about like mealworms and superworms, you can buy them by the bulk, which is really nice.
Mm.
But for dubia, they're a lot harder to get, I guess, as far as and like yep. as far as like a large amount, it's fairly expensive, but I just breed my own. I'd like to get more sources out there to, get a lot more because it's always nice to have a lot of feeders. But yeah, I think Dubia is just the better choice. I say some people say like black soldier flies.
Mm,
They have a higher amount of phosphorus in them though, which with high traces, like if your gecko eats a lot of it, it can die from poisoning.
mm.
So I won't feed soldier flies just because of that risk. Like what if one animal takes it different from the other? So you have to be careful with intake on those. So I just stay away from black soldier flies.
I find my geckos don't particularly really like the calci worms. You might get one or two that
Hmm.
really like them, sort of thing. But back to the
Yeah.
mealworm question, do you think, because I know like a lot of us Leo breeders, it's always waxworms, mealworms. Do you think it's more because of just the cost? And I mean, because if you could just feed majority of your leopard geckos, dubias, locusts, crickets, and more of the meaty stuff, I'd say that's fine. But I think the mealworms does come down to cost, and obviously you can buy them in bulk, like you
Yeah.
said. They live longer.
Yeah, for sure. I think mealworms have always kind of been around though, for as far as like feed. They're like the first main feed insect out there. They feed chickens and like chameleons. They were just like cheap and affordable, and they have a lot of eggs and lots of offspring. So as far as like a choice for bugs, I think it was like one of the main ones, for sure. So I think as far as just people having those instead of like dubia and all these other like crickets and all that. Crickets are annoying, by the way. I hate them.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, don't get me started. I actually had to order some for the angramainyu because one of them's a little picky and won't
I,
switch
I,
to dubia right now.
I did do some research actually, and a lot of the research says that angramainyu preferred roaches. So for you to say I got one picky one is having crickets, I suppose
Yeah,
you get one, don't you?
yeah, it's of course that one. So I had to order crickets, and I'm just trying to sleep, and then you just hear their sound. And I'm like, be quiet. You're gonna throw the box out.
These bloody
Yeah,
things. I know, especially if one
yes.
gets out and it gets behind the fridge or something, then you're like, oh no.
Oh
I have a
yeah. Luckily, Gus lives
mealworm
here, so
farm
he'll hunt.
in my state, so it's great, and no crickets here. I hate them. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think everyone has that
they're the
hate for
worst.
crickets. It's just, I
Hmm.
know a lot of people say they hold a lot of parasites as well, but it comes down to how you look after them. Like crickets, if you put them in a big tub, they can go bad really quickly. So I think if you keep on top of it, supply good food. The thing is with feed as well, people give too much food. I see like tubs of
Hmm.
mealworm filled to the top with like carrots, and I'm like, no, that's gonna mold, it's gonna go nasty, you know what I mean? So it's how
Yeah.
you look after them as well. But there was another question that came from the dubia question from Molt is, what insect has the best food response for good loading? I'd say dubias again.
Oh yeah, for sure. They can just cat. Sorry, my cat is. Yeah,
Here he goes.
yeah. He's trying to make his debut. Um, yeah, they just pack a lot more as far as calcium and just nutrients in them because they're bigger. Um, but just the way that they're designed, as far as like biologically, they're healthier.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're more like a beetle almost.
Yeah, I do get worried. I think with the angramainyu, you'll be able to feed them adults when they're big, I guess. I don't think
Oh
I'll
yeah,
ever feed an adult dubia to one of my Leos. I don't know. The shells are hard. I don't know. It's probably me
my
being
super giant
paranoid.
male. I'll go grab him real quick. He eats dubias like nothing. Like a full grown adult dubio, he can just keep eating him over and over.
No
He's
way.
I don't let him. I don't let him, but
But he can.
yeah, he could. Yeah.
Yeah, what Malt said. Keep mealworms cool. I have like a little sieve. So every couple of days I'd get my mealworm tub, put it in a sieve, shake it into a bin, and it gets rid of all their nastiness as well. Also, don't overfeed them because moisture wipes them out too. Oh,
Yeah, this is my yeah, his tail unfortunately. He's that one.
yeah, Oh, yeah.
So
How's he been
yeah,
recently?
he's good. He's just chunky.
Yeah.
The pastel tremper, but he's absolutely massive. He can take down dubias like nothing though, just one after another. Um, like his head, I like my camera's terrible and like I can't even show you how big his head is. It's massive. He's just a big old gecko.
He's stunning. You got a load of new arrivals as well, haven't you? You came back from
Yeah, I do. And
yeah,
then
look at the little nod, like, oh yeah.
yeah,
That rainwater you posted is fire.
yeah, I really I can go grab him too. He's one of my favorites. I'll snag him real quick. He looks like he's going into shed, of course.
Yeah, come
Um,
on the camera.
yeah, but he's really red
Oh,
in
lovely.
person. Yeah, he's really cool. His head, he has like this little horseshoe on his head too, with the little dots, and that's gonna looks like it's turning all red, so that's really nice.
To get a colour like that on the rainwater as well is pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like even just finding a decent rainwater in general is really hard over here. Unless you're wanting to spend like $500+ on it, and I don't, that's expensive.
Yeah,
$500 is hard to get, so
definitely. I had to get
yeah.
normal rainwater mail for my rainwater just because of you can't get them over here. Rainwaters. I think there's the only person I really know that works with them is Cambridge geckos, but
Hmm.
they're so uncommon. I think they're more common in the USA, but knowing you had to go and get a good one.
Oh yeah.
What's that
They're
colourless animal, Ryan? Ignore him. Ignore him.
yeah. It's sorry, my cat is kind of in a mood. He's like trying to bite everything.
Really?
So I apologize if I
No,
like tell him to stop a few times. Yeah.
he's a little legend. Just
Oh yeah.
walking around
He's
fighting. I bet he's a smart cat that's letting you all think he can't see, but he can.
oh probably yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. We have other cats, and by far he's the most normal out of all of them, and he's blind. So yeah.
Bless him.
I think someone in the chat asked if I had a Gary Payton jersey in the back. Yeah. So if they like classic basketball, yeah, I have that jersey behind me. Um, I can go grab the female though that'll be pairing with him.
Oh yeah, go on,
She's
go for it. DC Geckos also has rainwaters. Oh yeah, he does. Yes, Dave does have rainwaters. Still the people coming in, all the comments.
Sorry, all my rainwaters appear to be in shed right now too. But this female, she's really nice.
Very nice.
Just a standard rainwater head eclipse. She has like a little smiley head.
Don't show me that.
Okay.
You know
Yeah,
me and my smileys.
Yeah, she likes to jump,
Oh,
but
very nice.
she's pretty. She's actually pretty big too. She's bigger than the male and she's younger than him.
Jeez.
So she's just long.
Yeah, very nice. What is your
That's
projects with that snowy stuff I keep seeing you post? It's like you got this really
uh
weird one that's like it's an eclipse or don't look an eclipse or it's looks an eclipse but it ain't an eclipse. One of them.
yeah, I can go grab them. That's a project my friend and I are doing.
Yeah.
Just some side stuff. But yeah, I can show them real quick. I'll talk about rainwater real quick so I
Yeah,
can
sure,
finish up.
sure.
That way I don't have to pull them out and have them jump on me again. I actually used to hate rainwater. Gus? Sorry, he's chewing it on a plate right now. I'm gonna let him out.
The
Yes,
Morphtastic live bloopers for the Christmas special bloopers going to be great. It's just going to be Ryan and Gus.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, he's making a mess in here.
Oh, what a little legend. He knows
I'm looking.
exactly what he's doing.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Well, she's gonna run into the door in a few minutes. Yeah. But I actually used to hate rainwater a lot. Just because I didn't find any that I actually used to like a long time ago. And then once I saw how cool they were in like person,
Mm,
and like once my friend sent some to me, I'm like, they're kind of cool.
mm.
And then it kind of like grew on me. I'm like, maybe one more, and then another, and then yeah, you know,
And now
the
I'm stuck
addiction
with a load.
starts. Yeah, I really like them now. There's a lot of potential with them. Um, I think it'd be cool to like have some nice white and yellow rainwater stuff too. I know Chad Ramsey has his magma, I think,
Mm,
the magma line. Those are fairly nice. Really expensive. I can never purchase one, but they're really cool.
yeah.
Um, but then there's the lava, which is an original like fire water line too, which are probably my favorite rainwaters just because how red they are,
Yeah.
and they hold that color with age too. It's just they're really really cool looking. I only know of two people in the United States that even have that original line now. I think they, for the most part, they died out. But yeah, those are pretty cool.
The thing is with rainwaters, they look better in person. In like photos,
Oh yeah,
they're
for
very
sure.
wishy washy. But when you get one in the flesh, you see like these. I don't want to say stone washing because that would be Malt would rip me open for that. But it has like these. They have like a lot of silver bandings and stuff like that. Well, my rainwater does anyway. Um,
Yeah,
but like you said, you have so much potential in them. But with what I'm doing with the rainwaters, I want to try and keep adding color into it. Do you know what I mean? And I think
yeah, that's what I want to do too.
yeah.
It's just because it seems like they're just bred to be rainwaters almost
Mm,
because there's not a lot of people out there messing around with it, so they're just trying to mass produce the amounts of them. But that's not going to help.
yeah.
Um, you need quality animals and stuff that looks decent too for it to sell. So, or just to get people attracted to it. So you have to make good-looking animals.
Definitely. Do you think the rainwaters, because they tend to stay on the sort of shorter side, do you reckon that comes down to line breeding? Do you reckon it comes down to just the rainwaters genetics? I know like bells are big and trempers are big, but rainwaters do tend to stay a little bit on the smaller side.
I think that's just because people aren't really outcrossing them as much. It's almost like the Black Knight stuff. So that's why
Mm,
I think rainwater are just smaller, just because people are just repetitively breeding rainwater for rainwater and not really caring about like genetic crosses, what they could make with it. It's just people like rainwater, I'll produce it for them, but not really give a crap about what's actually happening.
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Not crossing it to anything, just rainwater to rainwater. They just want to produce rainwaters. I don't want no hets. You know, I
Yeah.
want all visuals. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I know. Sometimes the normal, like I said, I just purchased a big normal het rainwater. Sometimes it's good just to have a normal with a het. So it's good. It's
hmm
good for like the blood. You know what I mean? So a lot of people
It's good to
are
test
rushing into
too.
it.
hmm Yeah, I think that that's actually a good point. People rushing into it is probably because of that.
Mm,
They just want to get straight to what they want so quickly, but everything takes time. So that's the thing that you have to consider.
definitely, definitely. I've got a question for you myself actually, because there's something I've noticed this season. Have you ever noticed any sort of shedding issues with pastel babies? There's been a couple of pastel babies this season that just seem to have an issue with shedding. I mean, I can get all the shed off and everything, but they just
hmm
need that extra help. Like you see it on their head. It's like only popping up within the
I
pastels.
I haven't had any issue as far as like shed on their head,
Mm,
but as far as like just the pastel parts though on their skin, like on their back, that's where they have issues for me.
yeah,
Um, and I think it's just because they have no like the little I can't think right now, but the little bumps on them.
yeah,
The Yeah, they don't have any of those follicles on their back
yeah,
and those spots. That's why it's almost like scaleless. Scaleless has
yeah.
some issues. So I'm like, I they don't have any of the bumps there either though, which is really weird. So it has to be something similar to that.
Mm.
Otherwise, it really makes sense because all other Tremper stuff or just any other gene, I guess, that hasn't been really outcrossed in a sense, kind of, sheds perfectly fine. But I think pastel has something similar to like the scaleless for sure,
Yeah, definitely.
as far as shedding problems. Yeah.
Definitely, it's like when we mentioned you see like almost some pastelling spots that are like you said, it's like smooth. So you like look at scales
Yeah.
and you get like the bumps. Like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know exactly what you mean. Anything scaleless has its issues with shedding. So maybe I just noticed it was weird. A few babies have been like, what's going
Yeah.
on? You seem to be with the pastel pairing.
Just spray their tub down with more water is what I do. Because then they can get it off easier. It's weird.
mm,
So once it's more developed and all that, I have a long project that I've been doing for a while, trying to hit this one animal. Not yet though. Um, I will eventually, but yeah. Once I hit that animal, I'd like to figure out kind of what's going on with pastel.
is that a little secret project you got going on?
I think I mentioned it to you a couple times, but not not gonna fully show it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. What do you think is? We got a question here. What do you think is like a line or a morph that isn't really worked with and's gone sort of under the radar that you think deserves more credit? It's a hard
Max
one, isn't
Snow.
it?
Yeah. I think Max Snow, even if though it's co-dominant,
mm,
people just like use Max Snow to breed into other things. I'm like, Max Snow has a lot of potential
mm.
just alone with what it can do. Um, they're color enhancers for one. You can breed a Max Snow to a complete normal, and you'll get normal offspring and Max Snow, but the normal offspring look insane.
Yeah.
They're just a lot wider, and they don't have snow. Like you test breed it, they don't show anything. For example, my one male, I can go grab him. You know, his dad was a Max Snow. His mom was a white wild type or wild lineage, so she's a third generation of captive bred. But he has zero Max Snow in him, and he's just crazy. I'll grab
He
him, but
looks snow. He,
yeah, here he is. Yeah, he's not Snow at all, though.
crazy.
Yeah, he's big though too. He's enormous. He gets pretty close with that supergiant male too, actually, as far as size.
Stunning. That male was incredible.
Oh yeah, I don't like to pick favorites, but yeah,
Yeah,
he's up there.
it's
Yeah, he's just
crazy. He just looks so. He looks snow.
mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
The odd thing too that I've realized I wonder if it's because his mom was, you know, not as domesticated. He seems a lot more aware compared to all the other geckos for sure. He's just always looking around and like very observant, like the angramainyu are.
Yeah. Do you think
Yeah.
it must come down to just us breeding them all the time and domesticating them because there's that one's got wild blood like quite in the last few years. It's like they almost they still got that instinct. It's like dogs. It's like my dog, for
Yeah.
example. You don't start howling and they do get domesticated. So when you do get like I had a wild caught Montanus. And
Hmm.
that thing was protective. You couldn't go near it. Do you know what I mean? It had these natural instincts. It's like, right, whatever you are, you're a threat to me. Go away. So yeah, you probably see the same with the angramainyu. Sorry, getting all my words mixed up today.
Yeah. Yeah, I can show those snows too whenever you want.
Yeah, go on,
I
show
can
us because they're so.
yeah, I can hear them. They're loud.
They are so clean. Snow and eclipses in almost all my geckos.
I almost think that snow eclipses are kind of underrated because they kind of look cool the more you have them. Like you're like, okay, you kind of get into them after a little while. Of course you. Sorry, they love to poop. These ones are the smelly poopers. Yeah. All right, let me grab you. So she is a Max Snow Eclipse. She's het for Tremper, or 66%. Yeah, they're kind of wild. She's got that cool dorsal stripe though.
Very nice, very clean.
Yeah. one of her eyes are full eclipse while the other is half, which is kind of cool. But she has like these pied markings too. Her feet are almost all pied, and then her nose tip is
Oh,
pied too, which is kind of cool.
very nice. What's your plans with that? You gonna make some supers, or you gonna make some super snow eclipses? Just just making
I
snow
like to make
eclipses.
I like to make some super snow eclipse that have no het for Tremper at all.
Mm,
Um, that'd just be nice because everything that's super snow eclipse is either het for Blizzard or Murphy's Patternless or Tremper. So having that all just stripped away would just be fantastic. Um, you can breed it to a lot more things. Just have more so just the clean slate animals is what I want to start to produce more. Like Eclipse, you can't find an Eclipse that's just like a normal Eclipse anymore.
yeah,
Um, so I think it's cool to like almost go back and do some old school stuff.
yeah. You like
So
things being clean as well, or you no,
yeah,
you
I
like
like.
things being pure.
Oh no, no, don't say that word.
Nothing's pure.
Yeah, no, this pure clown and all of that. I can't stand it.
Clown is just a, a result from crossing pretty much everything together.
Yeah. I mean, they're het for Bell and het for Tremper and Rainwater.
Mm,
People are popping all of that out of them. I'm like, they're not pure.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Here's the one that here's the one that is an eclipse and does not look eclipse at all. Just the Max Snow Eclipse, and she's crazy. Um, her pattern it kind of reminds me of the Afghanicus,
Mm,
just because how kind of odd shaped it is. But she's really cool. She's pretty calm compared to the others.
very nice.
Yeah,
Is this a joint? This was a joint project. Was it with MS Farms?
yeah. Her and I are doing a project together. I'd like to just make some more of the non-super stuff. She's more into the super snow stuff. I could kind of care less about the super stuff.
Mm,
I like the standard max snow looks.
yeah. No, they're absolutely stunning. Do you have the Angramonus with you?
Afghanicus?
Yeah.
I wish I had Afghanicus, but I can never find him.
Mm,
As far as like available wise, it just seems like um the other species within New Bluffers are getting harder and harder to find each year, and no one works with them.
mm,
So John and Chris from Suburban Geckos were like the main guys here. Steve Sykes, he had some, but anytime he sells them, they're either sold or just way overpriced.
mm.
So like you're like looking at an angramainyu, he's selling him for $1,000, and you're like, not gonna spend $1,000 on an angramainyu,
Yeah.
even though that they're the Kazakhstan or the Choga locality. I'm gonna keep using this for locality because I don't necessarily believe in the localities for them. I can go into that when I bring them out and all that. But they're just really really expensive now. It wouldn't surprise me if like Afghanicus in the next 2 years are going to be sold at 500 or something like that. So snagging them now is probably what you kind of want to do the next few years if you like that stuff. So
Everyone watching, if you
I
want Angramonus, get them now.
yeah. Or just like Fuscus or anything like that. Hardwickie's gonna drop down in price though for sure. Because I know I see people in Japan. They're years ahead with their Hardwickie. They're insane. There's some without any. There's those saddles on their back. It's just orange on its back. They have striped ones, like almost like a full-on bold stripe going down from its head all the way down to its tail. I know Kevin at Mutant Geckos has the one on his stripe. It's the first one in the U.S. like that, I think. I've seen one similar to it at a show. Didn't have as big of a stripe, but it had a stripe on its back. But in Japan, they have some crazy, crazy Hardwickie. But
They do what they do is crazy. I see like tubs with like black knights over there where they breed them in such mad.
oh yeah,
It's crazy over there.
they just focused on line breeding, which is really good.
Mm.
It's just we don't have that here in the U.S. People just want new recessives and all of that. I mean, recessives are fun and all that, but I prefer polygenics or just I'm a codominant person
Yeah.
or just yeah.
You like a challenge.
This is a yeah. I like the challenges. This is a just a standard max snow, but she's really bold and she's pretty cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, she'll be pairing with that one male that I showed with the nice lavender and stuff, but from the wild stuff. So
Nice.
I'm I'm excited for that. If I hatch anything with like those nice bold bands on his back though, just like him, that actually hold it with the lavender, that's gonna be really really nice. Because even for like lavender stripe,
Yeah,
I don't think that they hold
you'd be
lavender.
crying if you hatch a super snow.
Oh, I would I
Imagine.
would be messaging the breeder just like
Oh.
that. Like, oh yeah, I would not be happy. Yeah.
Your face.
Oh yeah. I've thought about that.
Asian market is crazy. Yeah, it's different level.
Oh yeah, they're
Are there animals
it's odd,
cheaper
huh?
over there, or are they sort of similar price as well?
They're a little bit more expensive, it seems like, over in Asia. Um, just because most of the demand's probably from the US and like Germany, so they raise their prices up.
Mm,
Germany though is a lot cheaper than the US for sure.
yeah,
So like for a white and yellow tremper here is gonna sell for 300, well in Germany they're like yeah, $100 for it.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I know that the
um,
market is crazy in Germany, Netherlands. This it seems so cheap. Do you know what I mean? I got that. I don't know if you saw that red Tangello I got. He cost me £130, and he was
oh yeah.
yeah like over here he will be going for like 300-400.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. The difference in just market is insane. This is a female blood, no known hets. She's in shed too,
Oh, very nice.
but
I love a blood.
she's so yeah, she's super dark and just super red. Um, she'll be pairing with the rainwater, but I'd also like to make some no known het bloods just for the cause of it, because like the original bloodline, there's not a lot of it out there. I mean, Ron Tremper came out with his version of the bloods, and if you don't know the story, I can talk to you
Yeah,
later about
go
that if
for it.
anyone,
Go
any,
for
if
it.
anyone's, I won't do it right
This is what
now
we're
because
talking
it's
about.
pretty
History.
controversial.
This guy's giving us a history lesson.
Well, yeah, it's pretty controversial. You know, J&G came out with their bloods, and then a week later, Ron came out saying that he had bloods. So like, he had bloods. So there's the real blood, which there's not a lot out there, and then there's the Ron Tremper blood. So
Mic drop.
there's a
Oh,
visual difference. Yeah, sorry.
Red
I'll
Devil.
go grab those
Do you know much
angramainyu.
about? Do you know while people are mentioning it? Do you know much about the Red Devil stuff?
I've actually seen a lot of it. To me personally, it just looks like a blood tremper.
Mm.
Um, and I've never been able to see them in person because they're only in Korea. Um, which really sucks because it'd be cool to just see them in person because people are saying over there at least they're always saying that how red they are. Um, but there's no pictures of what they look like when they're older.
Mm.
At years of breeding. So I there's not enough information out there for them. It almost seems like the red diamond situation again,
Yeah.
but just with like people trying to enhance their colors. Could be the same thing. If not, that's awesome.
Mm.
Um, but once we get some over here, eventually we'll probably have someone get some red devils or whatever
Yeah.
over here and just throughout the market. Then you'll be able to tell. But currently, they just look like blood trempers to me,
Yeah.
or just you know.
I agree. And Malt just put. I haven't seen a nice one that isn't photoshopped. that guy just says it how it is. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
you send him pictures, Mr. Photoshop, and all that.
oh, that guy makes me
He'll tear into you.
oh.
I'll grab those other snows real quick, and then I'll show off the angramainyu, because those are save the best for last and all
Yeah,
that. So yeah.
definitely. What's going on, Thomas? How's the show? Junior keeps sending me these weird messages late at night. I don't like it.
This little guy's cool. He's just a max snow. But he's young. He's probably not going to keep this color at all. Likelihood of that is like no chance. But he's extremely, extremely bold.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even got a little nose band.
He's really yeah. Like if he kept those bands, that'd be really cool. His head pattern too almost looks like a Halloween mask, just because how it's very I guess broad and very noticeable, but he's really cool. Small little guy, but
I'm surprised I haven't seen any bandit in your collection, Ryan, because you like a lot of bold stuff. Like, I think you would really like a Max Snow crossed with bandit, because you like that bold look, but you don't have like a bandit in your collection. Or at least I don't know of. You probably do. Look at you smirking.
no, not yet. Next year you'll see some more bold stuff.
Yeah.
But not saying where those are from. Not yet.
I mean, I got a Het-free Zorro bandit, and I love it. Just the one. It's so clean.
The Zorros are really cool. Yeah. I would love to get the Bumblebee bandits. Those were like the first original bandit lines too. And then Ron Tremper came out with his bandit line, which kind of like overwashed all of the rest of them, which sucked. But the bold Bumblebee bandits, like extremely, extremely yellow, but like these thick lines, just one after another. They were insane looking. They're probably dead now because Ron Tremper swept everything up with the standard bolds. But the Bumblebees, those were cool. I know that there's the Bumblebee, like the Enigma line, but the original bold Bumblebee was no Enigma. It was just a standard bold stripe or bold animal with instead of like a stripe going down its back, there were just like these sections of just thick bands, and they were so cool. Just these thick lavender bands. They would hold them though too.
Before, so if you ever get any photos, send me some photos. That's never ever heard anything like it. It sounds amazing.
There's like nothing on them, which sucks too. It's like same thing with like the blue spot eclipse and all that. Like, yeah. I'll grab this guy. I really like this male. He's a Max Snow. Eclipse white and yellow. But that stripe on his back is just crazy. I think he might keep it too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And this is just nice lavender on his sides.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, just really... He's a good-looking male, so I'm excited to see how he develops. He's pretty big, too, for his age, too. He's long. Like, that's both of my hands sticking out, and... Yeah. Really cool gecko. I'll show those angramainyu. If you have any more questions, too, just fire away. I like answering that.
Stay with everybody else. You guys got any questions, just keep them coming.
Yeah. Here, I'll actually, before I pull out the angramainyu, I'll show you some high contrast stuff real quick, and then some more bold stuff. I'll just go through everything.
Very nice. I love the high contrast stuff. I wish I never got rid of mine.
They're really good for crossing, for sure. This male's in shed, of course. I love how everything cool looking is in shed today.
When you go on camera, it's like they know.
Yeah. This male in person is the brightest gecko I've seen. His head is all as close as red as I've seen, besides like Maltese stuff. That's the reddest I've seen it. But it gets pretty close to what red looks like. And has this nice lavender on his back. Of course, it's not going to show, but he's just a high contrast tangerine tremper, 66% possible het for eclipse. He's such a cool looking male, though. He'll be pairing with some white and yellow stuff, so
very nice.
Excited to see
anyone watching this live, you would never see the animal what it actually looks like on these lives. So if you ever want to check the animals out, go to Ryan's Instagram and you'll be able to see, because Ryan takes good shots as well. Because I've seen that gecko in a photo, and that gecko is fire.
Yeah, it doesn't do him justice. With my camera setting those sucks too, so I have an old phone.
We have to get some tips off of Mo, because how he takes his photos are fire. I saw the one with Bubblehead, and I was like, oh, I will fight for that gecko.
Oh yeah, you'll have to ask him for his $10,000 camera to do that. Let me grab the female out. Come on.
With a camera like that, he must be driving a Vauxhall Corsa.
Oh yeah. I get to see what he does for fun. You know, he's driving some nice stuff. Yeah. But she's in shed, of course, too. But this is just a white and yellow, high contrast tangerine raptor.
Very nice.
And then I have the same thing. She's got like a cool bubble spot on her back too. But I have not a sibling, but like an older sibling, like it was the same pairing. But just mine's a year older than this one. She'll also be pairing too, and I'll go grab her too. But as far as size difference, she's a lot younger. She's a year younger than mine, and she's like almost the same size. It's I don't know what it is with these geckos this year. They're just getting big. The
dubia
I have no
feeding.
Yeah, the dubias are working.
Because a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of breeders, it sounds bad saying this, a lot of breeders will just feed mealworms, and it's bad.
Yeah.
When you mix it up, when you throw some dubias in, and then you put some silkworms, you see a change. Look at,
yeah, for sure.
Brian's, he's got little geckos like that long.
Oh yeah, I have pretty large hands though too, and these geckos are, I don't know, they're just big.
They're all quite
just long, but
there as well. You can tell that you care into it.
I handle them every chance I get. Anytime I get free time, which is not that often, I'll like end up staying up super late, working with them like 2 a.m. Just once I get that time, I'll stay up and just work with them.
Because what I've noticed over the years of buying from big chain breeders, you get your geckos, you're like that with it. It's like it's never been held before because of these big facilities. It's literally swipe, clean them out, throw some food in, next one. Whereas people like yourself, you actually get them out, you're holding them, you're interacting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want them to be. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a pet. You want it pet quality. You don't want an animal, you know. It's like when you're buying a dog. You don't want a dog to be biting you once you get a pet dog, right?
That's it, yeah.
You don't want a gecko screaming at you.
Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, she bit me just now while I'm talking.
Yeah. Horrible geckos. He never looks after them. They bite.
Yeah. It's just like, I think they're like my cat. They're listening to what I'm saying, so they're just getting information off of him today. I'll show you this one too. This female's one of my favorites. She's a super giant Max Snow pastel raptor. She is enormous too. She's super long.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time with giants as well, Ryan, you know this, is it's not always the width. I actually say it's more to do with the length. Because anyone 100%. Gecko fat.
Yep, it's the length. I don't go by weight. Well, you have to go by some weight because giant, they're going to be heavier in general though. But it even seems like the longer the gecko, the bigger it's going to be. Yeah. So yeah, they're just cool. Yeah. They do have breeding issues for sure. Supergiant does have issues with breeding. I think once I've tested her for so long, it's and like you and I have discussed this, like how they'll have a good year, then they'll have a bad year in breeding. So they definitely have some sort of breeding issue, but they're cool. Who doesn't like a
Would you say
super giant.
would you say it's to do with a health complication of them being obviously lion bred to be big geckos, or would you say it's a complication of lion breeding because the majority of people that get a giant, you're pairing it back to a giant? So do you think
Yep.
it's the inbred that do you think it's to do with that, or do you think it's?
I think it's a
I'm
mix
toyed
of.
between the both too. It could be to do because of that. It's like a human. If your mum and dad are big and you pass it on, if your mum and dad suffer from, what's it called? What's it called when you get really big? You get that illness.
They get heart issues for sure. I know that.
Heart disease,
Yeah.
things like that. So I think it could be to do
Yeah.
with that. And I also think maybe because of its constant giant to giant to giant to giant, even if you're switching lines from 4 to moose, they're still somewhat linked
It's
one
still,
way or another.
they're all
You know what I mean?
yeah. I think it's a mixture of that, but then also just giant having the same organs and the same size of everything as just a normal gecko.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. But I'm slowly getting out of super giant, I think. I mean, I'll use them to cross, but not really super giant to super giant anymore, just because of that issue. Maybe one day I'll be able to pop something that has something similar where this doesn't have any issues like that. It's not a big issue because lots of stuff have fertility issues in geckos. Like every black knight has a fertility issue, but supergiant has a minor fertility issue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely. Malt's put question for you, Ryan. How many breeder geckos would you recommend to produce some high quality stuff for a newcomer? It depends on like the morph as well. Like with black knights, you see so many people that will buy one black knight female, one black knight male, and it's like what you should be doing. You should be probably buying. I know it sounds like it's going to cost a lot. You should be buying 3 black knight females because of their production system so poor. You might be lucky to
yeah.
get 6 eggs out of those 3 females. So it all depends
Honestly,
on what you're going to work with.
what I would do for Black Knight, like if you're doing Black Knight specifically, I would just get a super high quality male, and then the females have a lower percentage of Black Knight because you're still going to produce dark animals. And they're going to be a little bit cheaper than your like $2,000 gecko. But I still think it's a Black Knight. So I know a lot of people like that pure black. I'm not the biggest fan of just an all black animal.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you do have that luxury of being able to buy those $2,300 animals, then that's really up to you. Personally, I don't recommend it going into like big stuff right away. Or like if it's your first year breeding, don't spend thousands of dollars on stuff because then it's just gonna crash and burn eventually.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I've seen so many people that's come in and spent so much and bought the best that they can, and they just burn out because of you just get worn out. I guess I like building something for myself. So, like you said, you could buy one
yeah,
male, 3 okay females, and then hold back the best yourself and line breed yourself to
yeah,
produce what you like. I like the black knights with that very faint patterning. That's like gold patterning you see.
yeah, same.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that too.
I like that look because with me with black knights, how far do you go with it? There's only so black you can get. With an orange gecko, you're like, okay, I want to get it as orange as I can, then hopefully turn red. With black, there's it's done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you can start to get the black going underneath the belly and tail, but I just don't see the achievement because it's already been done. Whereas you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't see why so many people are just following the Black Knight. Yeah, I don't get it. That's probably just because I'm not a big fan of Black Knight. But still, even for like Tangerine, I really like Tangerines too. Producing like an all completely orange belly, orange everything. I don't really see the point in that. I just want to produce a nice animal.
Yeah.
Just something that I like. I know that a lot of, unfortunately, it goes back to that like that main question. Once you're new and you come into the hobby, you're like, what do you like? Not what the market likes. What do you personally like?
Yeah.
So,
If you
and unfortunately,
stick with hypos. Just work like you just said. Or just work. Don't run for the next trend. Like, oh wow, look, there's red diamonds. There's violet. Just work with what you want to work with. Achieve your own goal, sort of thing. A lot of people don't realise you're actually working with somebody else's projects. Like, look at me. All my stuff is other people's work that I'm just crossing together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? You make your own desire to make your own thing.
Yeah, do your own. That's every time someone new asks me questions, the first thing I'll say, like, are you confident that you like this thing? You know, be sure that you're gonna want to do this for a while. If you're in it for the long run, some of us are, a lot of us aren't. Those who are, but like, are you willing to, you know, make this your own thing? And like with Red Diamond, I'm not really gonna go into it as much. They have issues though. They have issues, and people don't. They're not saying anything about them. You know, they have fertility issues. They're showing signs of like inbreeding with the Enigma stuff. You know how Enigmas spin, do this gazing and all that.
Yeah.
I've been seeing red diamonds everywhere now doing that, and it's just people aren't. They're like, it's not an issue. Nothing's wrong with it. So if you have red diamond, I'm gonna tell you right now, outcross your red diamond.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah, we don't want another Enigma. You can't outcross Enigma either, though. Too like, I think there's that podcast or whatever, that live that you and I were talking about with you know, someone saying that they're gonna cure Enigma. That's not how it works. That's not how genetics work.
Yeah. It's like saying I'm going to cure lemon frost. You ain't curing nothing. If it was going to be cured, it would have been done by the person who made the project. It's not curable.
Like the Frosty Turk thing. You're just spreading cancer. All you're doing is you're promoting cancer. In fact, like, it's ridiculous. That's animal abuse, though. If you're breeding lemon frost, that's just the end point. You can't say it's ethical because all the tests have already been done out there by scientists. You know, all these schools and people that are in the medical field even saying can't be outcrossed. You know, how many times do they have to say it? There's like 12 research papers on these things. They're like, well, it's a hypothesis. That's what they'll say, and they'll be like, yeah. You know how there's people out there that are just
it's the mindset of thinking. I'm not talking about anybody in particularly, but it's the mindset of I'm a scientist in my room in my house pairing these geckos and I'm curious.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No.
If you're a scientist, you know lemon frost. The reason for them getting cancer is they're pretty much a walking cancer cell. They're going to get it regardless. It's in their genes. It can't be taken out.
It's not only like externally, it's internally too. They get tumors inside of them. So like, if you've taken a standard biology class, then you know that breeding lemon frost is incorrect. Or if you understand minimal amount of biology and just how nature works, don't breed stuff with cancer because it eventually dies out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't. Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll go grab those angramainyu now.
Do it.
Yeah. Those are always fun.
So Ryan, what do you think of the chances of morphs coming out with angramainyu? Because I know I see all different photos of angramainyu. I see yellow ones, I see white ones, I see brown ones. Are they different localities? Are they different morphs?
They can definitely. That's why I'm going to be working with them a lot more in the next years. They have lots of potential. Like, they're like the next leopard gecko. Like, at that level of just having morphs. So they're fairly diverse in color scheme. I'll show you this one. This is the female. She's in shed right now. They're really young too, and look how big they are. Like, this is a baby.
They stay slim too, don't they? They stay that slim look, and then when they get to like 2 years, they just go out wide.
Yeah. She is so sweet. She's never made a single sound. She's like the most calm gecko I've had though, which is like you'd think that they'd be like she's definitely aware of what's happening and everything. She's always like looking around like this, but like she just wants to like sleep on my hand all the time.
Because she knows she's big. She knows she's a
Oh, never mind.
gecko.
She wants to bite me right now. She's like opening her mouth. She's not happy. I like how
Just how
everything
just saying how
today.
nice and sweet she was.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be nice and sweet. But yeah, they're just like if you look at their pattern and all that. She's super dark though, and she has like this almost gold on her. She's really really cool. And on her feet, it's almost like you know the eclipse, like how Pied
Yeah.
has like those white. It's like that on her legs. They're just so. She's looking at me right now, but they're so cool. They probably no, they probably hate me because I'm like always like trying to peek in, like, what are you guys doing?
So you definitely
They're
think there could be a chance of maybe morphs developing because of I know like with the Tremper,
definitely.
how Tremper came was pretty much Ron had hundreds and hundreds of geckos, the wild geckos that he just slapped all together. And so when you got
Yeah,
like that many geckos, if Ryan had 100 angramainyu to play with in a few
I would
years'
have.
time, you would probably hatch a few things.
Yeah, these are they're so cool. Like I haven't had them for that long, but I've been working. You know, my knowledge on them is fairly accurate as far as like how long I've been doing my research on them. Haven't really needed to ask questions or anything about them as far as like locality, like how do you know this is a different blood type?
Mm.
Um, but like they're so cool. I want more.
I can see how happy you are with them as well. You are so stoked.
Every time I look, I'm just like, yes, I got the angramainyu. I've been wanting these are like my dream animals too, besides like shingleback skinks, which I'll probably never get. Because you know they're $10,000.
Yeah.
But one day, if a multi
You
wants to
will.
invest, I
Knowing
think
you will. It might take 10
oh,
years, but one day
I will
I'll
get
get a
them one.
message. I got them. I got them, George.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be freaking out. I'll send you a plane ticket. Yeah, yeah. um, yeah, you know, I think Malte wants to invest in the shinglebacks though, because you know, he always wants to invest in my stuff. I think that's a good idea.
He just likes taking
Yeah.
your ideas, eh? But the thing is, he'll take
Oh
your
no.
idea and actually do it. That's the scary thing.
Oh, he can probably buy shinglebacks right now. Um, like 10 of them, just like yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
No, but these are so cool. I'll grab the male, but there's an option where I could have bought another male.
Mm.
He's super dark, but I was thinking, you know, I could make a melanistic line with these, for example. Like I could make she's super dark. The other male was super dark too. But I'm like, there's a lot of dark angramainyu out there that you see. There's not a lot of like light stuff.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity. I'll show you the male, and I was so psyched that I was able to snag a male like this. These are the Kermanshaw Providence, because there's no blood testing on these things at all, except for the Choga, which I can go into that once I grab the male. But
When you pick them up as
yeah,
well, I was like, wow, because of, like you said, a lot of them are just like brown. When I saw yours, I was like, wow, look at them. They're almost like snow looking.
yeah, they're next level. Like yeah, leopard geckos are fun, but I'm gonna say I like angramainyu more than leopard geckos.
No way, Jose.
Yeah, I said it.
No.
They are. Yeah, leopard geckos are always going to be my favorite. The Eublepharus genus will always be. But these are just. There's something about them that they're like you have the standard leopard gecko where they act. It's a completely new animal. They don't act the same. The same care though, exact same care. They just eat bigger things. But they're just so.
Funny enough, Ryan, is the care the same because of from what I've researched, they love to climb.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the hides that I have in there. It's just a little rock. He likes to climb on it. I have rocks in there too. They love to climb.
Mm.
That's why they've got long legs. So that's part of their taxonomy. But this male, once I had the chance to snag this male, I had to. I mean, just look how light he is.
Look at the size of him and all already. Jeez.
Oh yeah,
Oh man.
he's a big gecko.
Oh yeah, you
They're
must
just.
be super stoked of him. Look at the head stamp as well.
Oh,
Almost Halloweenish.
oh yeah, it's weird. It's like a perfect Y shape too. It has like this little line right here, and then goes down all the way down to his nose, and it's like perfect, like perfectly centered too in his head. It's cool.
Awesome.
I don't have names for them yet either though. I want to pick out a cool name for these guys.
The whole time we've had the angramainyu out, this guy's been smiling. That just says,
oh yeah,
you're gonna do bits with them, man. I know you are. Mate, you could be the guy, the angramainyu guy.
yeah. Eventually, I'd like to have more angramainyu for sure. Not only just these ones, like the Kerman Shaw, whatever. Actually doing some studies with them too. I'm getting into some contacts with colleges and stuff on just the taxonomy on them. So these are the Kerman Shaw provenance, and then they look fairly similar to the eloms. Eloms are the biggest that we know of as far as length, but they look the exact same. It's just the eloms are a little bit bigger. But as far as they're only 2 hours apart though too, so you think that the taxonomy wouldn't be that diverse to have them be localities? They'd probably just be as far as like separate species wise. These two would probably be locality based, but then there's Mashed and Choga.
All the time.
They have to be crossing.
Surely.
That's the only besides one of them. Besides one of them, which is the Choga, which is very very different compared to the others. They're they always have bands. The Choga always have bands. They always have that yellow or light cream colored on their back, and then they look like the macularis, just big. It's either that they're a subspecies or their own separate species of angramainyu, or not even angramainyu, but they're so. I mean, there's a test saying that they did breed to macularis. There's no pictures of like the actual animals. There's just drawings. So there's no actual proof, which really sucks. But this says that they were able to breed to macularis, but these ones can't. Kermit Shaw can't breed, Elam can't breed to it, Mashed can't, and then there's the two turkey species or localities that can't either. So like the only you have to look at that like biologically, they have to be diverse.
Yeah.
In that sense. So that's the only way. That's why I think Choga are their own thing. I'd love to get some one day.
Are they
if anyone has them.
Are they the smallest of the bunch as well?
Choga are the second biggest.
Second biggest.
So there's the Elam. Yeah. Then there's these are the smallest ones, and they're babies.
Yeah, they're still going to be big.
So like
thing.
yeah. Like I'll grab out that super giant female real quick just to show you the size comparison between them two. He's like the same size as a super giant female, and he's not even a full year yet.
It just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Just to think how big.
When people say that there's no visual difference on these things, I'll show you.
They're like tall as well because they got these big spidery legs, and they like even stand up really tall.
Oh yeah, here's the super giant female. She takes up my entire hand.
Mm-hmm.
So does he. But he's a little bit shorter than her, I think. But she's like, not even yeah. Looking at head size, he has a bigger head than her too. But like, the size difference, he takes up most of my hand. Well, she takes up like not almost all the way, but she's just wider. That's the only difference. He's just, yeah, he's cool. I like him.
Even to breed them, isn't it like like a 3 year, isn't it? You got to raise them up for 3 years and then they breed. It's not even like people say leopard geckos. It's either weight or age. It depends how you look at it. But usually, between 8 and a year old, you can breed a leopard gecko. But with angramainyu, they just won't breed.
They won't breed until they're 2 years of age. 3 years is probably better. I might try to hit them when they're 2 years just to see if I'll hatch anything.
Excitement.
Yeah. Once I hatch them, I'm like going to be hoarding all of them. I'll send you a couple, but like for the most part, they're mine. Um, yeah, they're so cool. Next year I'll be trying to get some too from Germany, the Eloms, because they have better uh, just lineage. Because everything that's in the U.S. is just from John. So as far as lineage wise, um, so having that kind of sucks here in the U.S. because like everything eventually is from the same bloodline because it's all from John.
Yeah.
So you're having to outsource is going to be my main uh, stuff next year. That's all I'm doing next year too. Is I'm importing from Germany. But yeah, he's looking. I'll just hold him. He's so cool. Like he's looking at me. Yeah, I love this guy. He's so cool. Just I can show him off. I could just like hold him for like eternity. He's just that cool. Just
Wait until he's
you could.
big as well.
Oh yeah, but just watching them, it's so different compared to a leopard gecko. They're cool to watch just alone. Like if I'll post a few videos here soon, just what they do.
Everyone I know
It's almost
that
like you're.
owns an angramainyu says the exact same thing. They all say
Hmm.
they're different, they're alert, that they go looking for like food. You know, like a leopard gecko, mine just sit by their tub now. They sit by their food bowl like,
Yeah.
when's dinner? Whereas the angramainyu,
Yeah.
people say that if you got foliage in their setups, they go looking, rummaging through, digging. So yeah,
Like you're watching.
you own them, so you probably see all this.
Oh yeah, it's like you're watching National Geographic when you're watching these things. It's like these are wild animals,
Yeah.
and it's so cool. I mean, they're puppy dog tame when they're in your hand, but like when you're just watching them explore, you're like it's almost prehistoric watching the way they stomp.
Mm.
It's like they take big steps too. They like slam their feet down when they walk, and it's just you get chills when you look at it. It's cool. Yeah.
I can't wait to see more of them come available. They're still so uncommon. But what I didn't realise, I always thought us people in the UK, we mess with each other's lines too much because we're such a small country. But now talking to you Americans and obviously a few friends I've made in America, it seems like you guys can't really import much. So you guys are all working with each other's stuff, whereas us in the UK and Europe, we're sending stuff to and from all the time. Like to get stuff into America for us is hard, but to get it from America is easy. So you guys are sort of stuck. I know you guys do get a lot of Japan orders, but I suppose that sort of gets distributed against the big guys. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. Like you said, everything's John, Suburban Gecko, Steve.
Yeah, if you're big, then you have the new stuff. That doesn't like if you're smaller like myself, you're not gonna have that luxury of being able to get that stuff, and it sucks. Like if you're a smaller breeder, you're never gonna have that opportunity to be able to experience what they're doing. I mean, eventually, I'd love to be able to do something big like what they're able to do. I don't want to be full time and into animals like that though for like a job. Just because like I feel like you'd almost lose the side of passion for the animals. Because then it becomes a business.
Yeah.
And like, don't you just want to like be looking at these all day? Like, don't you just want to? You want to enjoy it.
You want to be like how you are now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're ever since he's got about, he's been.
Yeah.
That's how you should be, not. Do you know what I mean? You're appreciating them. So
yeah,
definitely. I think you're gonna do wonders with them, mate. If I'm honest with you, I think you'll do really, really well. So is it two females and a male you've got?
I only have the male and female because females are super hard to kind of track down, like nice ones. Males are even harder to find. Like this guy is like once a year you're gonna find something like this on any sort of market in the U.S. and it sells like it's the first one to sell. So the fact that I was able to grab like such a nice like wider male, was just my luck.
Yeah, yeah. You've been waiting a long bloody time for them, so he's lucky, really. Well, anyway, I think we should probably wrap it up today. Is there anything you want to mention before we go, Brian? I know you got a giveaway.
Oh yeah, I can go show you that animal too. If there's any last questions though too.
Yeah, any last questions? Throw them in. Yeah. Throw them in. So Ryan's got a bit of a giveaway over at his channel. Well, his page, sorry, not his channel. His Instagram page. I think he's got a post on there.
Doing a giveaway with MS Farms the Moor and then Leviathan Gecko. Just for the fun of it.
Giving back.
This is the gecko. Yeah. I don't really like selling animals is fun and all that. Like that's how you get new geckos. But I'd eventually just like to give something away to someone. I mean, for my friends and all that. I'm honestly probably not going to charge you for an animal, just shipping. Just because
that's what I like. I have each other out. You know what I mean? If there's ever something a week, I'd have a few friends that I really, really want that. I'm like, don't sweat it. Take it. If you really need that animal and you got a future and a project for it, just take it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like you can have all these animals. I don't have a whole lot, to be honest. Like I don't have hundreds or anything like that, like the big people. But I have a decent amount. But yeah, this is the male that's going to be in the giveaway. He's just a Tremper head eclipse, but he's really cool actually. He's the camera's not showing him any justice, but he has these huge bands of just lavender and he's holding them really well. He has the clear-eyed eclipse or the Abyssinian eye.
Oh, nice.
Too.
Oh, very.
Yeah. He's a good. He'd be a good pet. But just a breeder, though, too, if you're interested in, like, just Trempers that hold lavender like that. Like, if you bred them to, like, a high contrast line or, like, a bold Tremper, you'd make some sick offspring.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting ideas to hold them back now, but I can't. I've already said. Yeah.
Giveaways off.
Sometimes I have to be quiet. I get too excited for stuff. I'm like, I can make this project.
Yeah. Do you just sit there just looking at your collection, thinking, I'm going to pair you two next season and you two next season? And, actually, no, you would do better with it. It changes all the time.
I'll show you this gecko. I haven't shown him in a while. That's what I'm thinking of right now. I'm not sure what to pair him with. Because he'll be breeding age next year. He's a super raptor male. He's a pied face though, which is really cool.
Very nice.
It's got this cool dorsal stripe down his back too. He's really cool. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna pair him to. Like I could do a lot with him. I could breed him to a white and yellow raptor, something like that, to make some like nice snow white and yellow Tremper stuff. I don't know. It's just like there's so much that I could do.
Yeah.
This year I'm gonna be heavy on the male side. As far as my collection, I have more males than I should have, but yeah. I think it's always good to have extra males though, just in case.
It's just in case you get some available females you really like.
Yeah. But there's always going to be that one male that's not going to want to pair. He's going to be like, oh no, the female, she licked me, I'll hide in the corner. Type thing, yeah. That's that supergiant actually. That supergiant female licked him and he freaked out. He was like running up trying to get out and he was like, I've never seen him so scared.
I don't know why it's this. I've never come across an aggressive super.
They're so nervous.
Flaccid and anything like you said, a little lick. He's like, oh, we'll wait till next year now.
Yeah, they're just. It's like a little kid like getting into the pool, like when they're like no, yeah, it's too cold.
Their toe in, like ooh.
Yeah. Yes, they're fun though. But this yeah, the Tremper stuff's fun, but I'd like to get into Bell too. I have the Rainwater now. Um, Bell's probably the next thing I'll get into, just to have all albino finally.
Got some nice.
And Bell's my favorite.
You got some. I've
Yeah,
got some real nice bells I need to show you because I'm going to be sending some stuff to USA in December, so I could throw some on there for you. I'll show you some. Got some
Oh
nice
yeah,
lavender lines as
awesome.
well with the bells.
I'd like a few pictures to see. I'll see.
I've got a bold gem lavender bell I have to show you. Well, radar. I'll show you. Really.
Oh, that's awesome.
Looking really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's any last questions, or if you want me to show off one last thing.
Is there anything anyone wants to see? Any last questions for Ryan before we call it a wrap today? You've been a lifesaver, Ryan, because someone cancelled on this weekend, so you came in and saved the day.
Oh yeah, any weekend you want to do this, I'm down.
I'm free, mate. This is what I love. I could talk to anyone all weekend because nobody's interested in this who I know in real life. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I love doing it. Any questions? Any questions regarding leopard geckos, angramainyu, anything you want to see in Ryan's collection? This will go on YouTube, Spotify, and podcast. I do need to update our sponsor list, but that will be coming very, very soon. But any questions? Let me check. Is any questions came while we were chatting?
I've just seen people saying hi. That's about it.
Best advice for line breeding het-free animals? Test for the het-free firstly.
Yeah, I'll touch for that.
Yeah, because a
then
lot of the time, there's an eclipse.
You'll have that.
There's an eclipse sitting in there.
Yeah. Or just Tremper or anything like that. Any of the recessives are going to be in it. But then also, like, it depends on what you want to do with it, though, too. Everything's a cross, so I'd just outcross and just make a cool gecko.
Yeah, I mean my red diamond cross examples today. Honestly, Ryan, I prefer them to the normal red diamond.
I'm the same way.
They're strong. You can see how they're growing, the structure. I mean, I've been absolutely amazed by the red diamond crossing this season. I think that's the route I'm going to go down. I think.
I like the red diamond outcross. I think it'd be. I was looking at one of my friend Leviathan Gecko, Dina's red diamond outcross male, and he's het for Tremper, but he looks like the standard clown look, but he holds the color.
Yeah.
And has no emerine or anything in him. I have something that I'll be sending her to pair with that one, but I want to see what happens if you pair that to like not fire water, but like just some nice like bold tangerine or like the firebolt or anything like
that. Yeah.
Just to see what would happen. They're so red though too, just the tangerine version. So
that's the same as my red diamond crosses. I hatched one visual Tremper, the rest are all het Trempers. And like you said, they came out with this like clownish patterning. It's actually got like two red stripes going across its back. Some photos. I'm amazed by it. Amazed. This is what I find crazy. I don't know whether it's just me. I love crossing things because you never know what you're gonna get. And I'm the
same way.
Keep getting red diamonds, pairing them together. Not just necessarily red diamonds, clown. Cross them. They do so much better. You do hatch with my clowns. I think I hatched 3 really good ones out of like 12 eggs. But it's worth it. Trust me.
I mean, that's the thing that sucks. That's why I don't want to work with clown. Is just because that percentage is that you're only going to get 2 or 3 cool ones out of them, and then the rest are just going to be standard looking.
Yeah.
It's not very strong as far as a polygene at all.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's not a good potluck animal for crossing. But like, once you cross into some like nice tangerine stuff or just bold stuff, then personally for just everything in general, crosses are better.
Yeah.
You make cooler animals.
Definitely. How do you tell if you have a white and yellow as a baby?
It's kind of easy to tell white and yellow. They'll have white feet. This is not a white and yellow by any means, but they'll have white feet and they'll be born with like this. If it's a tremper or any sort of albino, they'll have like the horseshoe, a white horseshoe on their head,
Yeah.
and then high white feet, high white sides. But if it's just like a white and yellow, um, just they'll have the white feet and white sides.
Yeah.
If it's like tangerine white and yellows, yeah.
Until you work,
It's fairly easy.
till you work with them, you do get some.
Even,
It's like, I don't know, but generally when you've worked with them for a year or two, they become a little bit. You get like some blushing around the patterning as well, similar to like high contrast sometimes.
Yeah, I think white and yellow. Like people are gonna hate me for this. It's not dominant at all. White and yellow is line. It's line bred.
Oh, you think it's
I'm gonna say that 100%. I think it's a polygene.
That's interesting.
Yep. Just because you can breed white and yellow to like 10 other animals, and you're not gonna hatch out any white and yellow. And then there's low expression though too.
Yeah.
So if it's like Max Snow, for example. You don't have a low Max Snow or anything like that. Or like Enigma. Enigma's dominant too.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a low percentage looking Enigma. You can tell.
Yeah, no,
an Enigma.
But there's some people that have had white and yellow pairing, hatched like gecko. It should be seen as like a Max Snow. It's like a 50-50 almost. So, and you get some people like, this isn't white and yellow. They sell it. And all of a sudden, that gecko produces all white and yellows, and that gecko doesn't look white and yellow at all. So I know that makes sense. To be fair, that does make sense.
Yep. It's just like if it's dominant, then what are these percentages? Like, why is there a low percentage looking white and yellow then? And they'll just say like, oh, some just produce a better look. But then explain like the difference between like percentage wise. If it's dominant, then always 50% will always have the white and yellow. Doesn't matter. So, and then like people say it's luck. Like you'll just get some that aren't white and yellow that year. That's not how it works genetically. Sorry, that's not how genetics work.
It's just luck, just lucky.
Yeah. No, that's not how. Yeah,
white and yellow White and yellow so annoys me. It's ridiculous.
It's cool.
It's an amazing gene what it can do, but sometimes I'm like,
I think.
Are you white and yellow? Especially with tangerines. So someone just put white and yellow tangerines are so nice looking. It's the contrast.
They are.
As well, they sometimes throw in a bit of red as well, but it's one of them. It can be so annoying.
It's just a good line bred. It's a good polygene. It's very strong genetically. But same thing with like people saying like recessives, all these new recessives and all that. I think it's just line bred of that recessive.
Yeah. Do you think it came from
do I think what?
Do you think white and yellow came from Enigma? There was always that theory that white and yellow it come from an Enigma.
I think white and yellow didn't come from Enigma just because Enigma is fairly. So you can see what an Enigma looks like. Yeah. And it wouldn't be a mutation off of Enigma. I think it is just a color enhancer. White and yellow is just a line bred trait. But I do believe that lots of white and yellows do have Enigma because I'm not going to say who got them here in the U.S., bred them, random Enigma, random stuff in their genetics, You know who. But
exactly who you're talking about. You're talking about.
Yeah. All their white and yellow for some reason has Enigma syndrome. They'll bite themselves, they'll spin around, they'll hit their heads. They're lethargic. It's disgusting.
There's so much.
It's
stuff
just like
in their lines though. Stuff that's popped out. You said like clown. That clown. That's Het Bell, Tremper, Rainwater, Lemon Frost, Bandit.
It's not even. I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, it's just really disrespectful, I think, to the community that you're lying about what's in your lineage. There's always going to be that percentage, that small percentage. So, like, no known hets and all that. That's why you don't say non-het animal. You say no known hets. Yeah. Because you don't know. There's always going to be that one tiny little percentage of whatever. But yeah, I could go in an entire thing about this. We could do another live with more people on. Yeah.
We just talk about people's collections,
or just genetics.
Yeah, exactly. And it's more of these conversations need to be made, to be fair. There's too many big cats that are hiding behind all their followers and things ain't done right. It's like a lot of people don't know clown came from a raptor. You know, you're seeing all these old clown with no temperament at all. It's like they came from raptors.
And you know how like your red diamond cross,
Mm.
the outcross, it's the exact same thing. It's just a raptor outcross.
Yeah. Oh.
And then
yes,
yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah. It's the exact same thing. Watch, someone's gonna name that a clown or something like that, or something new.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people out there saying that Murphy's patternless. I forget who it was. They're like, this is a new gene, and I'm like, it's Het Murphy's patternless though.
Mm.
And then there's like, someone said that they made a new leucistic line, and I'm like, but then you look at the pairing, that's just patternless to patternless, and like, I guess that's new now. It's a new gene.
That's the problem. Everyone wants to try and make something out of nothing as well. You see all these names thrown around. It's like
That's not how it works.
It's just a one.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? It's like everything. Loads of lines have got different names and stuff. But I think people are trying too hard to make their own thing. When, like you said, it's just a Murphy patternless to Murphy patternless.
Yeah. Yeah, it's whatever though. People are always going to be like that.
That America's worse for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think we'll give this a wrap, everybody. Like I said, Ryan's got a giveaway on his Instagram. That's with some of his friends. So make sure you check that out. Is there any last thing you want to say, Ryan? All I can say is thanks again, mate, for coming on. You've been a lifesaver. It's always a good conversation when we get you on.
Yeah, it's fun. I like doing this. It's helped me, build up my confidence and showing my face and all that, for sure.
Definitely, I think.
So I appreciate that.
Well, you do. He does the Gecko Talk podcast as well, isn't it, Ryan? Mate, you need to do more of that. I love it. You need to get some more of that out. It's just the information as well, and it's so crystal clear that it's understandable. You know, sometimes too much information can be a bit of a blur. It's like, oh, what? It's explained well. Mm-hmm. It's like with the one with you and Jeff. Fantastic, amazing podcast.
I have one coming up with him that's all about wild stuff, and that I'm trying to get, John's attention to talk about the angramainyu or just the other eublepharis, because he's the one that in the U.S. that has them, not only in the U.S. but just worldwide. He is notorious for having the various collections. So we need that information because more people are getting into it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm one to share information. I don't like hoarding it because I don't think that's fair to the community. Not saying that anyone's doing that, but like, I want to know what these angramainyu are. Like,
you got the collection of them. Can I have some information? You're seeing all these. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. But you're going to be the guy for angramainyu. I can already see that how you're holding them with a big smile on your face. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
I hope so. Yeah, one day maybe. But
definitely.
I'd like to share them. Yeah.
But you share the information as well. Like, look at the live. We've done the live today. You explain some things you've noticed. This is what it's all about. But anyway, thanks again, Ryan, man, for coming on. Everyone hit him up at Recto Reptiles. I'll put his page in the description. As always, this will go on YouTube, Spotify, and podcasts. Thanks again, Ryan, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Have a good day.
And you, mate. Take it easy.
All right.